History never stops shocking us as archaeologists and scientists find themselves busy with tracing our origin. From Jesus' tomb to the oldest text in history, here are some archaeological finds that shocked scientists. Number 1. Shocking revelation about Jesus' tomb. Long before, there has been many controversies about the true tomb of Jesus and where he was buried. When researchers removed the dust from Jesus' tomb, they made a significant discovery. According to historical records, Constantine, the first Christian emperor of Rome, sent an ambassador to Jerusalem in the year 325 AD to find the tomb of Jesus of Nazareth. According to reports, his emissaries were informed that Jesus' final resting place was beneath a pagan temple dedicated to Venus, which they then tore down. They discovered a tomb carved out of a limestone cave beneath the structure. Constantine then gave the order to construct a magnificent church there that is today known as the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. However, in 2016, when researchers from the National Technical University of Athens started a much-needed restoration of the Edicule, a place that supposedly houses Jesus' final resting place, the tomb was opened for the first time in millennia. The team found the ancient limestone walls and a burial bed, or long shelf, which, following Christian history, would have been where Jesus' body would have been laid after his crucifixion. The tomb was only accessible for 60 hours, during which time researchers collected mortar samples from the space between the burial bed and a fractured cross-adorned marble slab. Researchers assume that the slab was most likely installed during the Crusader era or possibly just before the Fatimid Caliph of Egypt demolished the church in the year 1009, but they still needed to test the samples. Number 2. Oldest text written in the Basque language found in the hand of Irulaihi. In the Navarre region of Spain, an amazing find about the oldest text was carried out. In June 2021, a bronze sheet in the shape of a hand was discovered at the ruins of a castle in Irulaihi, southeast of Pamplona, the city of Navarre. Shortly after the discovery, Maria Chavite, the regional president of Navarre, intervened to hasten the announcement of the discovery. This amazing artifact, known as the Hand of Irulaihi, is inscribed with the earliest ancient Basque text that is said to be as old as 2,000 years or more. During excavations at the base of Castillo de Irulaihi, close to Pamplona, Spain, in 2021, the Hand of Irulaihi was first discovered. And according to experts, the Vascones, a pre-Roman tribe that was thought to have no written language, invented the hand. The first writing in the Basque language, written in Iberian script, contains 5 Vasconic words spread across 40 characters, according to a recent examination of the artifact. Further research showed that this item was created in the 1st century BC during the Roman Satoria Wars, 80 to 72 BC, a time of conflict between the Roman government and a group of Roman rebels known as the Satorians. Archaeologists claim that the hand was placed above a door as protection, but the village was later torched and abandoned, and the hand was left buried in a mud brick home's ruins. The Vascones, a pre-Roman tribe whose territory stretched between the upper stream of the Ebro River and the southern basin of the Western Pyrenees, is thought to have found a way to communicate by constructing this hand. It was once believed that the Vascones had no formal written language apart from a few words, and that they only began recording their speech after the Romans introduced Latin. However, it has been determined through a new analysis of the Hand of Irulaihi that it contains the earliest text in the Basque language written in Iberian text, and that it contains 5 Vasconic words spread across 40 characters. This discovery challenges much of what was previously thought to be known about the Vascones. Number 3. The mysterious 30,000-year-old Venus of Willendorf. The 30,000-year-old Venus figure found close to the Austrian village of Willendorf was most likely carved from oolite, a rock that is not common in the area, according to a recent study by the University of Vienna. High-resolution tomographic scans have been used by a research team led by anthropological Gerhard Weber, geologist Alexander Luckeneder, and Matthias Harshauser, as well as prehistorian Walpurga Antelweiser, to determine that the statuette's material originated from northern Italy. Microcomputer tomography was used by anthropologist Gerhard Weber of the University of Vienna to analyze Venus down to a resolution of 11.5 micrometers. The team obtained comparable samples from Austria and Europe for comparison to pinpoint the geological origin. They did this in collaboration with Alexander Luckeneder and Matthias Harshauser from the Natural History Museum in Vienna. This unexpected discovery clarifies the archaeological puzzle surrounding the long unknown origins of Venus, one of the most significant works of early European art. The Venus of Willendorf, whose body is 11 centimeters long, was discovered in 1908, is an instantly identifiable statue. Although it lacks a face and feet, it exhibits morphological traits that are frequently linked to female fertility, including enlarged breasts and private areas. The classic piece is finished off with a complex headdress or hairdo. Number 4. A surprising collection of ancient bronze statues discovered in Tuscany. Status and monuments have served great importance, including worship for people in ancient times. These 24 bronze statues were discovered by archaeologists in Tuscan Spa after a whopping 2,300 years in hiding. This finding sheds light on the change from Etruscan to Roman power. After several exactions at historic thermal baths outside Siena, archaeologists have uncovered a hand, an elbow, and a shimmering coin slowly emerging from the mud and water. The discovery included a trove of thousands of coins, 24 exquisitely preserved bronze statues going back about 2,300 years, as well as other important items. Experts describe this discovery as nothing short of revolutionary. According to excavation leader Jacopo Teboli, a historian at the University for Foreigners in Siena, the find is the largest deposit of bronze statues of the Etruscan and Roman age ever unearthed in Italy, and one of the most significant in the whole Mediterranean. The statues were discovered by archaeologists from the University of Siena when they were excavating a network of bathhouses close to Siena. The area is nourished by geothermal springs, which the Etruscans utilized to give water to the bath complex they built at a mean temperature of 42 degrees Celsius, 108 Fahrenheit. Although researchers believe the complex was constructed by the Etruscans in the 3rd century BC, tradition has it that Porsenna, an Etruscan ruler of Cusae, established the site. Number 5. Thousands of prehistoric hunting pits unearthed beneath Stonehenge. Researchers now suspect that Mesolithic people tracked animals in the area, including aurochs, an extinct bovine species, long before ancient Britons built the mystery Stonehenge monoliths on Salisbury Plain. Under Stonehenge, the region has been a stunning complex of historic structures, monuments, and barrows for thousands of years. Using sophisticated methods to view the underground, scientists found the location, numerous burial mounds, a sizable home of the dead, 17 ritual monuments, as well as hints of a putative procession path around Stonehenge itself are among the discoveries. There is also proof of a mile-long superhenge in the area called Durrington Walls, which was formerly flanked by up to 60 enormous stones or timber columns, some of which may still be buried beneath the ground. Near Stonehenge, tens of thousands of prehistoric hunting trenches, thought to have been used to catch deer and wild boar, have been discovered. They were supposedly excavated by hunter-gatherers some 5,000 years before the UNESCO World Heritage Site was constructed, or about 10,000 years ago. The discovery, according to archaeologists, demonstrates that the early Mesolithic humans roamed the terrain while Britain was being repopulated following the last ice age. Researchers from the universities of Birmingham and Ghent discovered the pits using a combination of innovative geophysics and conventional archaeology. The pits date from between 8,200 BCE and 7,800 BCE. Number 6. Archaeologists discover oldest known narrative scene dating from 11,000 years ago. At Sayburç in southeast Turkey, a group of researchers have found what may be the oldest known narrative scene carved into an 11,000-year-old Neolithic bench. The find was made during Sayburç excavations that started in 2021, as reported by Dr. Zadowan in the journal Antiquity. The site is situated beneath a contemporary town in the province of Anlurfa. Archaeologists in Turkey have found the world's oldest narrative scene, which is a 2-panel carving that shows humans and animals. The study details an 11,000-year-old complex at Sayburç, which includes multiple residential buildings and a sizable communal structure. On the benches that border the walls of a community space, the engraving was discovered and it was published in the peer-reviewed journal Antiquity. In the left panel, a male figure is depicted crouching and carrying a rattle or a snake against a bull. In the right panel, a male figure is depicted in high relief grasping its phallus as leopards approach from both sides. This humanoid figure wears a triangle neckband and has a round face, big ears, and bulging eyes. The danger in each scenario is heightened by the prominent emphasis on the leopard's teeth and the bull's horns. Eylem Zedoan, an archaeologist at Istanbul University, said in a statement that these characters etched together to convey a narrative are the earliest known examples of such a holistic scene. This represented the myths that shaped the ideologies of the time. The site in southeast Turkey under a modern town in the province of Anlarfa dates to the 9th millennium BCE. Beginning in 2021, excavations have shown that the area was inhabited by Neolithic people who were changing from nomadic hunters and gatherers to more sedentary farmers who had established permanent villages all across the area. Number 7. Thousands of Aztec objects and offerings recovered from Templo Mayor. At the foot of the temple, ceremonial deposits including more than 2,500 wooden artifacts were found by archaeologists from the Instituto Nacional de Antropología Historia, INAH. Masks, headdresses, scepters, pectorals, darts, figurines, dart launchers, jewelry, jars, and various wooden sacrifices that the priests deposited to dedicate the location to the Aztec gods are among the discoveries. The Templo Mayor was the focal point of a complex that included 2 temples, 5 platforms, and auxiliary structures at the pre-Hispanic Aztec Empire's capital. The Aztec deity of war and the god of rain and agriculture shared the temple, which was known in Nahuatl as the Hueyteocalli. Built in 1325, the temple was destroyed by the Spanish in 1521. The current archaeological site is located at the intersection of Seminario and Justo Sierra Streets northeast of Mexico City's Zocalo or Central Plaza. Due to the soil's anaerobic conditions and the high humidity level that's preserved them, the objects have persisted for more than 500 years. The findings were done using cutting-edge techniques by the researchers, utilizing artificial sugars to stop bacteria and changes in relative humidity from degrading the wood. Number 8. Lost temples, Buddhist structures, and caves uncovered in Bandhavgarh Forest Reserve. In the Bandhavgarh Forest Reserve in the Umaria district of Madhya Pradesh, India, the Archaeological Survey of India (ASI) has discovered lost temples, Buddhist structures, and caves. There have been 46 sculptures, 26 temples, 2 monasteries, and 26 caverns that date from the 2nd century BC to the 5th century AD. The team was surveying the area for the first time since 1938, concentrating on a 170 square kilometer area that includes a portion of the Bandhavgarh Tiger Reserve, which was closed off to the public to preserve the area's biodiversity and Bengal tiger numbers. There are 3 phases to survey the area, with the first one finishing in the Tala Range in May or June of 2022. The Katuli and the Magadhai ranges of the Tiger Reserve will be investigated in the following 2 phases. Number 9. Large funerary building and Fayum portraits from the Ptolemaic and Roman period discovered. Archaeologists have discovered a sizable funerary structure and Fayum portraits from the Ptolemaic and Roman periods at the Gaza archaeological site in Egypt's Fayum city. Since the excavations by German archaeologist von Kaufmann, who found the so-called Tomb of Aline, and British archaeologist Flinders Petrie in Hawara in 1887 and 1910-11, this is the first discovery of Fayum portraits. The Old Kingdom saw the establishment of Fayum, also known as Shedet in ancient Egyptian, which served as a center of worship for the crocodile god Sebek. Fayum was known as Ptolemais Eugertis, later renamed Arsino under the Ptolemaic Kingdom and developed into a center for the Ptolemaic worship of Alexander the Great. Since 2016, archaeologists have been excavating the Gaza archaeological site, and the most recent season of work revealed a sizable burial structure. The building is situated in the Gaza village formerly known as Philadelphia Village, which was founded in the 3rd century BC as a result of Ptolemy II's Philadelphus' agricultural reclamation initiative. Numerous burial chambers, either rock-cut or walled with stone, are found within the funerary edifice, which was built using stone blocks. The main structure's floor is tiled with colored floor tiles that resemble a checkerboard and is adorned with a lime mortar. Number 10. Rare bronze box, altar, sacrificial relics, and mythical bronze creature unearthed at San Zindui. In addition to other artifacts, a giant legendary monster cast in bronze was discovered on Wednesday at Sansindui, an archaeological site in southwest China. The artifact is the largest and most complete animal-shaped bronze found at the site, weighing 330 pounds and measuring 3 feet in length and height. The enormous creature features a bronze statue of a man standing on it, a sacred tree carved on its chest, and a horn on its head. The long robe covers the figure's lean body. According to archaeologists, the man might be attempting to tame the legendary beast. In China's Sichuan province, there is a Bronze Age site called Sansindui. Although locals have identified signs of ancient cultures there as early as 1927, it wasn't discovered until 1986. The location has been associated with the long-gone Shu Kingdom, which reigned until 316 BCE. The site's most significant discoveries are concentrated around several sacrificial pits that are chock full of thousands of gold, bronze, jade, and other objects. According to Zhao Hao, a team member from the No. 8 Pits excavation, since the first excavation at Sansindui in 1986, the uncovered mythological animals have been reduced in size, only about 20 to 30 centimeters long. It has a tree immediately etched on it, which suggests the Sansindui people revere it or see it as a kind of divine presence. Number 11. Earliest known depictions of 2 biblical heroines found in an ancient synagogue. Archaeologists discovered mosaics of the biblical heroines Deborah and Yael in an old Jewish synagogue in Hugog in Galilee, Israel. These roughly 1,600-year-old mosaics are, following the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, UNC Chapel Hill, which made the discovery, announced last week, the earliest known representations of the individuals mentioned in the Book of Judges. The Hebrew Bible mentions the farming community of Hugog, which is close to the Sea of Galilee. Since 2011, archaeologists have been working on an excavation project there, concentrating on a synagogue from the late 4th or early 5th century CE that boasts a lot of vibrant mosaics. 2 women, Deborah and Yael, helped the Israelites defeat the Canaanite general Sisera in the Book of Judges of the Old Testament. Currently, 1,600-year-old mosaics from Israel's Lower Galilee have been discovered by archaeologists, according to a press release from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. The team, led by archaeologist Jody Magnus, located the prehistoric artwork in Hugog, the location of a Jewish synagogue constructed between the 4th and 5th centuries. Magnus tells Catherine Post of Religion News Service that this is really unusual. There are no other ancient representations of these heroines that I'm aware of. When Deborah calls on the leader Barak to battle the Canaanites, the biblical tales depicted in the mosaics officially begin. All of the Canaanites are defeated by Barak and his army, with the exception of Sisera, who escapes the area in order to avoid being captured by Israelite soldiers. In Yael's tent, he seeks safety. She feeds him until he nods off, after which she takes up a hammer and rams a tent peg into his head, murdering him. Number 12. Archaeologists uncover once-in-a-lifetime 1,300-year-old gold and gemstone necklace. In Northamptonshire, Mola Museum of London Archaeology archaeologists discovered an extraordinary necklace that dates back 1,300 years. The find was made during digs that were conducted in advance of a Vistry Group housing development with assistance from archaeological consultants RPS. This necklace has at least 30 pendants and beads composed of Roman coins, gold, garnets, glass, and semi-precious stones, making it the richest of its kind ever discovered in Britain. It was discovered alongside other intriguing grave items that are still under investigation in a high-status female burial. Based on the name of the nearby parish, the collection of discoveries has been given the moniker Harpole Treasure. According to experts, this is the most important female burial from the period to have been uncovered in Britain. Number 13. First sentence written in Canaanite language discovered in ivory comb. On an ivory comb from 1700 BC, there is a whole phrase written in Canaanite, according to archaeologists. 17 Canaanite letters from the earliest stages of the development of the alphabet system are preserved on the comb in an archaic form. Canaanite letters combine to make the following 7 words: "May this tusk root out the lice of the hair and the beard." The Canaanites were among the first to employ the alphabet, which was created in approximately 1800 BCE and eventually adopted by many other languages all over the world. Only a few solitary Canaanite words had previously been identified in the land of Israel, and there had been relatively few inscriptions. A recent find, however, has altered this because a complete Canaanite sentence was discovered etched on a little ivory comb. This phrase from circa 1700 BCE offers a magic way to get rid of lice. A team from Southern Adventist University and the Hebrew University of Jerusalem uncovered the little ivory comb in Israel. It was written entirely in Canaanite and dates to about 1700 BCE. Professors Josef Garfinkel, Michael Hassel, and Martin Klingbeil served as the team's leaders. Dr. Daniel Vainstub, a Semitic epigraphist at Ben Gurion University, interpreted the writing on the comb. Professors Rivka Rabinovich and Yuval Goran analyzed the ivory and discovered that it originated from an elephant tusk. The Jerusalem Journal of Archaeology published the team's results. Number 14. Ancient snacks and animal bones found in the sewers of Rome's Colosseum. Archaeologists have discovered new information on the experience of attending events at the ancient amphitheater, including possible snack preferences in the sewers and tunnels beneath the Colosseum. Researchers found remnants of cherries, grapes, figs, blackberries, peaches, nuts, meats, and olives from 1900 years ago after a year-long investigation. These appetizers were probably consumed by spectators at the renowned amphitheater as they watched performances such as plays and gladiator battles. According to Alfonsina Russo, director of the Colosseum Archaeological Park, the discoveries deepen our comprehension of the experience and habits of those who came to this site during the long days dedicated to the plays. Bones from lions, bears, dogs, and other creatures were also discovered. According to Reuters, the researchers speculate that these creatures may have been forced to engage in combat in front of spectators or may have served as prey in hunting shows. In addition, 50 bronze coins from the 3rd to the 7th centuries were discovered, together with a rare silver coin from the year 171, commemorating the 10 years that Emperor Marcus Aurelius ruled. Number 15. Wreck of Sir Ernest Shackleton's Endurance found. During the 1914 to 1917 Imperial Trans-Antarctic Expedition, Sir Ernest Shackleton and a crew of 27 men traveled to the Antarctic aboard the three-masted Barkentine Endurance. The ship, which was first known as Polaris, was constructed at the Framnes shipyard and launched from Sandefjord in Norway in 1912. Shackleton purchased the ship for the expedition, which would be her first trip, in January 1914, after her commissioners were no longer able to pay the shipyard. On May 21, 1915, she ultimately drowned in the Weddell Sea in Antarctica after becoming entrapped in pack ice a year earlier. The ship's boats were used to reach Elephant Island, where Shackleton, the ship's captain, Frank Worsley, and 4 other people set out to seek assistance. All of the crew managed to survive the ship's sinking and were finally rescued in 1916. The search team Endurance 22 located the wreck of the Endurance on March 5, 2022, about 107 years after she went down. She is in good shape and is located 1,645 fathoms, 3,008 meters beneath the surface. The Antarctic Treaty System has recognized the wreck as a protected historic site and monument. The director of the exploration for the expedition, Menson Bound, noted that Worsley's historical, detailed archives were vital and that his navigational abilities had assisted in the expedition's discovery of the wreck. Additionally, sea ice around Antarctica has been at its lowest levels since space satellite data began being kept in the 1970s. Sea ice covers the Weddell Sea year-round and has traditionally been so thick as to make underwater investigation all but impossible.